so you get signed to WWE in August of '99, and we know that you go on to have the Eurocontinental three-way match, but you were on the WrestleMania 2000 poster, and a lot of people online think maybe you were in a different match and something was changed. Can you talk about that?
We're just jumping right in, aren't we? Didn't even buy me dinner or anything. So my very first WrestleMania was in Los Angeles. And it was a three-way match, Jericho versus Kurt Angle versus Chris Benoit in a two-fall match for the European title and Intercontinental title. It just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? But the initial thought for that match, where there actually is, you guys can go online and see, the poster, like Kenny said, the original poster had Rock, Triple H, Big Show, and Jericho. I refer to myself in the third person, just so you don't think, what's he talking about? So there were the four of us were on this poster. And nobody told me any reason about it. I saw it actually on a billboard on the Sunset Strip, which is really cool. And I had just come into the company. I was like, this is really great. Like, I'm on the poster. Like, this is huge. Because as time went on, I always called myself the George Harrison of the Attitude Era. Now, what does that mean? I was in the company as a huge babyface, but The Rock and Steve Austin were in the same company at the same time as huge babyfaces. So much like George Harrison being an amazing musician, songwriter, singer, etc., his only problem is he's in a band with Paul McCartney and John Lennon. Nothing you can do. You're always going to be number 3. So that was kind of my place in WWF at the time when I first got there. But I thought, I'm on the poster. Rock was gone making movies, whatever it was. And if you remember that year, the main event match was a 4-way match for the title with a McMahon in every corner. And the match ended up being Triple H, Big Show, Rock. Is it Rock? Yeah, and Mick Foley. The original poster was not Mick Foley, it was me in his place. And I think at some point, somebody got in Vince's head or whatever, and they brought Mick Foley back, and he was retired, and I think they offered him, he said, enough money to put his kids through college or something, and so he was in and I was out. So it was a little bit of a downer, because I figured it out pretty quickly. Like, there's even a huge press kit that I have at my house, and the press kit is like this binder with all of these like flyers inside of it, and advertising revenue, and WrestleMania does 10 million views across 57 countries, and I was on the cover of the thing, and then I realized I got taken out for whatever reason and put into this, like I mentioned, 3 guys for 2 titles over 2 falls and whatever the rules were. So I was confused by them. I still am.
So, but then we move on to WrestleMania 17. You know, some people say it's the greatest WrestleMania ever, and you open it with William Regal.
Well, hold on a second. We didn't even talk about that match in L.A. We just talked about the rules of the match. See,
yeah,
these notes, a blank piece of paper, right there.
I've been outed again.
Softball. So this match was in Los Angeles, and it was very confusing, like I said, and I was really confused by the booking of the match, because they had Chris winning the Intercontinental Championship in the first fall, and then me winning the European title in the second fall. The European title was here, the Intercontinental Championship was here. It seemed like it should have been the other way around. It's kind of like you get your, dessert, and then you got to eat the liver next. It was really kind of weird, but that was adamant the way Vince wanted it to be. And I remember, you think Kurt Angle and Benoit and Jericho in 2000, I mean, every guy in this match is just amazing, you would think. So the match should have been amazing too. It really wasn't. I don't think I've ever watched that match back, and you guys might have, but I remember kind of thinking that was kind of lame. It was too confusing and overbooked, and I just never understood why the European Championship was second and the Intercontinental Championship was first. And then I lost the European title the next night to Eddie Guerrero because of China, and everything just kind of was a big swirling piece of crap down the toilet for that match. I would probably rate that match as possibly, and as we continue through, possibly my least favorite WrestleMania match because of the story I just told you of what it was supposed to be and then the potential for the match, but it never really came together in my opinion. There you go.
And then you go on to WrestleMania 17 with you and William Regal for the Intercontinental title, ironically, and you win that there. You get to open the show. What was it like being on that card in that spot with Regal?
Well, once again, people say it's the greatest WrestleMania of all time, but I think I think our match was maybe 7 minutes. And here's the thing with WrestleMania that you guys don't know: this is when we were in a stadium, the Astrodome in Houston, 60,000 people, and you have 10 minutes for the opening match, and that includes your ring entrance. Problem is, it takes like freaking 2 minutes to walk to the ring. It's literally like 400 yards to get from the back of the stadium to the stadium. Now, you don't want to jog down or ride one of those little WrestleMania ring carts that they used to have. Remember, the guys would come down, like Andre the Giant would be waving. It's like, this is the most untough thing ever. Like, you're just, hey, I'm super tough in my super slow cart. And by the time we got to the ring, I think we had 7 minutes, and you do not go over time at WrestleMania. So another thing that I'll point out to you guys as we continue this conversation throughout the next hour and a half, or whatever it is that WrestleMania, everybody wants to have the best match on the show. Everybody wants to have the classic, the legendary performance. Problem is, there's only a few matches on the show that are booked and given the spotlight for that. And what I mean is matches that are given 20 minutes, 30 minutes, matches that are put in certain positions. So when you have a 7-minute opening match, of course we wanted to have this all-time classic, but you just really can't. It's just the focus isn't on it, the time isn't there, so you still do the best that you can, but everybody wants to steal the show at WrestleMania. And it doesn't matter where you are on the card, you still have that attitude, but reality creeps in when you're like, we have 7 minutes. And I remember, once again, I felt very rushed in that match. Vince loved it after. What a great opening match. That was, what an opening match. And I was just like, really? It was 7 minutes. I didn't really think it was all that great. I think there was a couple mistakes in there, as you guys call them, botches. That is one of my least favorite words in the world. Oh, you botched it, mate. Did I? And what was I supposed to do? Tell me. Please tell me. Know-all wrestling fan on Twitter. How did I botch this? But so it was, and I remember too, like, this is pretty crazy, but they used to have this after-show WrestleMania party where the whole company would be there, and Vince would be there, and the whole, like, the office was there. And Vince's favorite bands are AC/DC and the Rolling Stones. And most of the years at these WrestleMania after parties, at least 2 or 3 times, he had hired a AC/DC Rolling Stones cover band. How do you do an AC/DC Rolling Stones cover band? Well, they would come out for the first half of the set dressed as AC/DC. Then the Brian Johnson, Bon Scott guy would like go to the back, take off his hat, put on a glittery jacket, and start doing the Mick Jagger thing. And that was kind of the best part. Like, who did he hire this year? Oh, it's the AC/DC Rolling Stones tribute band again. Oh, great. Which I love, but it was still funny. So anyways, you would have these after parties, and I remember like I had kind of a bit of a black eye, and I was like, I wonder if this looked a little bit more black, if it would make me like feel better about this match. So I kind of like scratched it a bit, and then suddenly there's a little bit of a cut, and then I scratched a little bit more, a little bit of sandpaper action. Like, oh, that looks more impressive. And now I look like I feel like I've been in a fight because I didn't feel like I did anything. So now I'm self-mutilating just to try and look tougher for the Rolling Stones AC/DC cover band.